You're listening to the Telltale channel. Don't forget to check me out on all social media: Patreon, Twitter, Teespring, and Etsy. All links can be found in the description or on my website, telltaleatheist.com. So the next article I wanted to take a look at is entitled "Televangelist Jim Bakker Had a Stroke and is on Sabbatical from His TV Show." So let's give this article a read and see what it says. This is by Hemant Mehta on the Friendly Atheist website. Televangelist Jim Bakker is taking time off from his show to recuperate from what his wife and co-host Lori says was a stroke. The news comes just days after his legal team told a court that his show's hawking of a false COVID-19 cure is merely an example of Bakker exercising his religious freedom. Therefore, any attempt to stop him is a form of Christian persecution. Big surprise. Of course, that's the angle he would take with it. Lori Bakker posted this message on the show's Facebook page. "I wanted to share with you, our loving and caring partners, that Jim recently experienced a stroke. We are thankful that Jim is okay and that he's now at home with our family. Under the guidance of medical professionals and our board of directors, Jim will be taking a sabbatical from the show. Jim will be back. He is still dreaming and hearing from the Lord." That's weird. "And he already has a powerful word to deliver when he returns to the air." Yeah, I'll bet he does. And that word is bye. His silver solution, his giant buckets of apocalyptic food, his inevitable new pacemakers, etc. Oh, that's pretty funny. Who wrote this? This is Hemant Mehta. That's actually really funny. Oh, look, I said this in the last article that I was reading about the pastor who committed suicide. I don't like to see anybody hurt. I don't want anybody to be hurt. I think everybody is a hero of their own stories. They believe themselves to be good people most of the time. You have the occasional piece of garbage who is setting out to benefit themselves and literally nobody else. But generally speaking, everyone is the hero of their own stories. When you look at it from that perspective, you realize that you would really rather not anybody get hurt. You'd rather try to rehabilitate people. You'd rather try to fix that broken perspective that they have so that they can be a functioning member of society again. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to have a stroke. I would rather Jim Bakker pull it together and be a normal, functioning member of society instead of a scam artist who is straight up lying about what his medicines do. In the article, it says that word is bye. His silver solution, his giant buckets of apocalyptic food, his inevitable new pacemakers, etc. Some people may not know this, but people call him Bonus Bucket Jim because he sold these things called bonus buckets, or basically giant-ass buckets full of food that was supposed to last like 50 years or something like that. And it was for when the apocalypse starts. Christians buy just tons and tons of these buckets of food that never expire, pretty much. They'll be set. Or if they're raptured, the people in their lives who weren't raptured will be set because they'll have all these bonus buckets. So that's why they're talking about giant buckets of apocalyptic food. It's pretty funny. I call him Bonus Bucket Jim Bakker. I should cover the bonus buckets one of these days. Anyway, let's continue reading here. It's not clear when the stroke occurred. It's also worth noting how there's literally no mention of his silver solution, even though Bakker and his guests said that it cured everything from venereal diseases to HIV. It'll do everything except fix a stroke, apparently. That's a pretty fair point, actually. While I wish him well for the sake of his family, here's hoping prosecutors don't take any sympathy on him. He's done plenty of harm by peddling garbage to poor elderly people. That's not even taking into account how he sold people a warped sense of faith, and he should be held accountable for it. Yeah, he's just another televangelist, and honestly, televangelists are fucking weird, man. They kind of weird me out, heavily weird me out. They are the exact opposite of what Jesus taught. It's easier for a rich man to get into heaven than for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle. That's a pretty clear message. Jesus doesn't like rich people. It doesn't get much clearer than that. But these televangelists' response to that is, if you read the rest of the verse, The rest of the verse says, but all things are possible in God. It's like, are you kidding? It just delivered a very succinct, clear message here. These people are the exact opposite of what Jesus taught or respected or believed in any way. And they are just getting loaded off of teaching about it. It blows my mind, seriously. They're scam artists. They are all scam artists. It's absolutely disgusting. Jesus would be disgusted if he were real and if he were here and he saw these guys on TV.